this new method and procedures you have to go through to prepare the seedling and the bedding of how to do it properly, no? So compared to how we know, we just growing it wild. It just sits there and, But now this you have to put time and invest into it.
Fisherman Jason Young hopes that seaweed farming will become the next big thing for fisherfolk in Belize. He's been fishing for over 20 years, and he, like other fisherfolk in the Turneffe Atoll area, want to tap into this multi-billion-dollar industry. But first, they need to be able to produce commercial quantities that meet international standards. So for 3 days, Jason Young and 14 other participants, mostly fisherfolk, gathered on Calabash Caye to learn the basics in sustainable seaweed cultivation. Lowell Japs Godfrey was the lead trainer.
They're learning to set up the structure from which to plant and basically to care for the seaweed that they planted. The major part of the seaweed planting is to prepare for planting. Cutting the rope, splicing the rope, doing the cultivation lines, preparing anchors and buoys. And actually planting the seaweed is a very fast and easy process.
And that's what the workshop participants did: cut and splice their ropes and set up their 50 by 50 submerged seed bank just off the Calabash Caye. There we found lines and lines of the macroalgae that will be ready for harvest in 3 months' time. The Nature Conservancy is one of the partners leading the training session.
Our goal really is to see if we could accomplish at least 5 producing seaweed farms here in Turneffe, and to boost the industry in Belize for us to get to a point where seaweed cultivation could become a supplemental livelihood for fishers and one day could become an alternative livelihood. Seaweed cultivation really is just that, and it's not taking them away from the sea. So I believe once a fisherman, always a fisherman or a fisherwoman, and for us to find ways for them to provide for their family, we need to create that alternative means of income of activities just like seaweed, that they are still in the water.
And that's why seaweed cultivation is an ideal way to supplement the income for these fisherfolk. Fisherman William Johnson has been fishing out in the Turneffe area for 40 years. His partner Jessica Gibson is also a fisher. For this training, their daughter tagged along to observe. This is their first introduction to seaweed farming.
It makes a lot of good product, so I think that we're going to have a big industry in doing this seaweed farming. So I'm willing to work with it and see how much I could do with it.
Now, from the training, talk to me about your experience. What did you think of it? How was it?
Well, I learned a lot from it, and I can see that it could be really successful in the training, and I'm going to try and do it as long as I could do it.
Fishing is totally different from doing seaweed, but at the end of the day, I choose it because, like I said, I have a great opportunity in our life, and to me, come in like on the sides because we do fishing and diving, and sometimes the fishing and the diving, when the workout maybe, pays off, so the seaweed that we have to do on the side will come in extra to help you up sometimes.
Can you see yourself leaving fishing and going into solely seaweed farming?
Well, I would say yes in the future, yes. Because like I said, be something where I'm big directly.
I think they're going to do well because it's like easy for them to do. When I'm watching them, they don't waste time. They're moving fast and it looks easy for them. And I think it will work well for them in the future.
Illegal fishing, overfishing, and other pressures have impacted the fish stocks, so much so that fisherfolk no longer earn what they used to. They now can use seaweed to earn an extra income. But researchers and managers of these sites know that the power of the seaweed goes beyond the dollar value.
Also at the same time trying to take the pressure off the regular commercial species like conch, lobster, and finfish, and so diversifying their resource base. And what we are trying to do as well is to create climate resilience for the Turneffe fisher, and so trying to look at something also that will still perform under these climatic conditions that we have these days. In doing this process and looking at the technique, we also found out that the seaweed is also a good nursery grounds because we have found evidence of small fin fish, juvenile lobsters, a lot of crabs and crustaceans in it. So it creates a lot of fish life for the time that it is there, and so it also has nursery value.
And so because seaweed thrives in our waters and it provides so many benefits and opportunities, the plan is to get the seaweed farmers organized so that Belize can start commercial exportation. And that is why the Department of Cooperatives is involved to help guide the development of this emerging industry.
There is a market for Belize. The issue is that the market is for just the dry or what they put in a gel form. It's a simple process. The Placenta Fishermen Cooperative have not really moved to that stage where they are really adding value to the product. But we know that the potential is there for markets in terms of doing cosmetic products, hair products, and also as a food. You can use seaweed as a food, no? And the whole idea of this, what we are looking at is that we want to supply the local market, yes, but we believe that the real income is in the export market in terms of value adding. We are hoping that we could get not only the existing fishermen who are members of cooperative, but other fishermen who are independent to come together as a group. We will assist in organizing the groups and getting them to work together.
Seaweed sells for $30 on the local market, and in the U.S. it sells for $15 US. Local experts say that the demand for seaweed and its byproducts are growing. It is used for food, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, industrial products, and more. The Fisheries Department is now working on policies and regulations for this emerging mariculture sector.
The department is presently drafting a policy and some regulations that would guide the application, the monitoring, the extraction, the exportation, and the overall development of seaweed mariculture activities in Belize. So we're still in that process. Like I said, we're shifting now from research to commercialization. And with this training and sensitization effort, we hope to have something structured and guided for them sometime throughout this year, because we believe that the opportunity is now.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.